Good morning. I have a 2011 Ford F250 Super Duty. This is the 6.2 liter V8. Right now I'm in the process of changing out my cab mount bushings. Overall the process is, it's not that bad. It takes a lot of work as far as it's just the screws are so long, and then some of this stuff is just so rusty. But you just got to plan for it. Make sure that you have an entire day. You definitely don't want to come out here thinking that you're going to bust this out in a couple of hours. The front mount on the passenger side, I haven't done the driver's side, but the front mount I had to cut out with a Sawzall. It was just a little bit too rusted. But one thing that I noticed whenever I'm putting these on and putting in the new bushings and everything and lining it up, one tip that I didn't see people saying, I don't know, maybe they just didn't go into that much detail with it, but whenever you're lining this up, let's see if I can get this here. When you're lining these up, if you see, look, I just put the screw in. I don't have the bottom on this one yet. The bottom is on that one, but nothing's tightened up yet. So whenever you're putting this screw in, it helps align when you're bringing the cab back down after you jacked it up to put this in. I found if you put in the bushing and then you bring your cab mount down, sometimes your hole will not align correctly. That bushing will shift a little bit. But if you put your bolts in and kind of get it going a little bit, and then you bring your cab mount down, it helps align that bushing. So you're able to not worry about it being offset, because you could go through this entire thing, bring all of them down, and you go to put on your bottoms and your screw, and then you're not even lined up. You got to jack this shit up again, and that's not what you want to do. But I'll try and record more doing on the driver's side, and that way every little bit that we do for each other on these sites is helpful, so hopefully that little tip right there gives you a hand and helps you. All right, and here's another a tip while doing these bushings and stuff. On the front of this truck, if you have to do hold back, as I had to, because underneath, after a while, it started slipping. So other people are saying take off your headlight and other things, and I don't know why they said that. All you got to do is right here in the engine compartment, right down here, is a 22 millimeter, and that'll provide you hold back if it does end up slipping. So that was easy, and all the rest on my passenger side, because I'm just kind of finishing up torquing them, all the rest of them did well. I heated up everything, not with a torch. All I used was just a heat gun, regular Wagner heat gun right here, and that should work very good. All you're doing whenever you're heating that bolt up, and I proved it whenever I took out the bolts, because the bolts still had the old Loctite on it, and it's like embedded in the threads. But when you heat that up, it becomes a lot more pliable, so it's a lot easier to get them untorqued. And even whenever I was putting them back in, I kind of cleaned them up a little bit, and I did apply a little bit more Loctite, but I left on like the old stuff that was there, because at first I thought it was something in the grooves. I was like, oh, this is maybe some rust or whatever. And I was like, no, this is all the old Loctite that they had on there. So I just like reheated the bolt up a little bit before I put it back in too, which I guess would make it easier putting it back in if you left on that Loctite versus getting new bolts or anything. So, and here, even though I didn't have to, I pulled it just to see, but this was fairly easy. There's no bolts or anything that you have to take off on any of this. It's literally popping this plastic up, taking this piece off. I'm taking this piece off from the back, and then taking this piece off and just pulling up your carpet here. And then there's a rubber plug, and then in here you can still, hopefully you can see that, but the bolt. So if you needed to do hold back in one of those too. I just had it out, so I just wanted to show y'all real quick since it was right there. Okay. Another thing I wanted to note on this truck, I've only changed out the passenger side here. I don't know if you can tell that the truck is leaning. Obviously the side that I changed out is a little bit higher. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a little scary. I mean, I know this truck had there's a little dent in the front there, but look at the gap there. And then look at this side. I haven't yet to change out this side. Whenever I do measure them, it is like a little over an inch higher on this other side with the new bushing. The bushing sits up probably about that much taller than the other one. So I guess I'll find out here shortly whether that's normal or not, or whether I tweak my frame. But yeah, she's definitely riding up on this side. So let me get to changing that other side and I'll see what I end up with. All right, starting on this back one. I said I was using the heat gun. I'll just heat that on up really good. All right, now we're gonna go to try and break this baby. Try and break it loose. I got me a 1/2 inch breaker bar extension and an adapter that goes to a 3/8 15 millimeter socket because I didn't have no 1/2 inch sockets. But what I found, the secret to this is you just got to go really slow. Don't force it, don't jerk it, because then you will have to end up going inside your truck and pulling up the carpet or taking out the seats or whatever these other people are doing to get this loose. So just slow and steady pressure, and all three on the other side besides the one in the front came loose fairly easy. All right, and just to show y'all these last 3 bolts in the back I took out. I got the front one, put a lot of WD-40 on it, and I'm just gonna go ahead already on it, and I'm already gonna have a hold back, so I'm not gonna deal with what I dealt with not the first time. But as you can see, I wanted to show you, you have one way in the back, just that one. The one right towards the middle area, it's the one that's always, it has the rubber grommet, and that one's, it's actually good. I haven't taken them out yet. You got to pry them out, pry bars, get it out. But that one has been shorter even on the other side, and I just want to let you know that I didn't have a problem with the shorter one. Whenever you're putting everything back together with a new one, you do have, it's all seated in there, but you haven't tightened anything. You maybe have half an inch, at the most maybe 3/4 of a gap, and you're like, oh, that's not going to be enough. But once you tighten these things down, it compresses the grommets so much that this definitely will get enough threads in it up in the truck to hold it. So that at first was my concern, but after I did everything, it wasn't a problem. Honestly, it'd be nice if they shortened up these bolts. I don't know why they have them so long, but on the front, just to show you too, even on this side, I was saying on the other side you're able to hold back. I mean, I have like 15 extensions, but it goes down, kind of hard to see down there, so the focus, but like 15 extensions, and it just got it coming right here. So if that happens to break loose down there and want to spin, at least this will start catching for me, and I could continue working down there without having the hassle of already finding all the stuff. So, and that's about it. And I'll continue on with this, and I'll continue to show you my progress. All right, guys, while I'm down here, just gonna show you all my technique that I've been using to get these off. This is the one I was talking about. That's actually one of the better ones. If they would have just stuck with this style with the rubber and everything, the truck would have been fine. But that other crap that they're using on the other ones just completely falls apart. But the same goes for this one as even it does for the one that I just took off back here. It came off. But basically I get this hammer. You just smack them around all sides that you can. Once you smack them around a little bit, so you can get your pry bar in there, pry from all sides, everything that you can get, and eventually they'll work free. I mean, unless they're completely seized like the front one was. But so far, I know the back three on the other side, passenger side, and hopefully these three will come out good. And I'll just have to see about battling that front one. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to get my Sawzall on it, but just so y'all know, like I said, this pertains to every single one. So if you got a different way, then do you. But see, that one's already about to fall out. So, and this is one of the harder ones to get out. All right, I want to elaborate on this a little bit more. What I was talking about earlier in my video about aligning up the hose. If you can see inside, all right, that hole right there. So that's about whenever you go and you put these in, have a little slop. Whether these are the right ones or not, I hope so. I hope Amazon did me right. But anyway, they seem to be working okay. But whenever you go to drop that down, what you're gonna want to do is end up taking your bolt what I was doing was putting them in already, because I was finding after I put these in and set it down, the holes would not sometimes align. It's just to have this in temporarily. All right, once I know I'm sitting down right there, whenever I drop this, no matter what, that bolt will keep this aligned as my frame comes down. So after that, I usually take out my bolt, clean it up, put on the bottom, and then I tighten everything up. But I'll do that once the rest of these are out. And yeah, I'm having a big issue with that front one. Was not able to get that front one out. So I think I'm gonna have to actually end up cutting the bolt and everything and putting on my own washers and everything with it. So that'll be another pain in the ass, but it has to get done. All right, I finally got that front cab mount in. That was a pain. This is the end result here. I threw away the other cab mount. I had to cut it in half as well, but this is the bolt that was in here. It was up on top. That sat up in there like that. You can see, look how much torque I was putting on it when I was trying to even get this thing out. But, cut that in half, took everything out, put in my brand new one. Still got to put in the bottom, torque them. But and then yeah, now everything's even. This one in the front, same height. It's my passenger side. I said earlier I wasn't sure, but yeah, it's just because the cab mounts were just complete trash and it was basically riding on nothing. What I had to do, because I couldn't find anybody, I went to a local hardware store and they were able to have the same grade bolts. I'm gonna end up putting this one in the back, and I'm gonna use this one actually in the front for the pure reason that the washer on here, well, it don't come off, and it's a little bit wider than this one. So I'm actually gonna put this actually upside down, how it don't go, but this will end up going. I'll do mine from the top down. Let that sit in there like that. Put on my bushing underneath, along with these washers and my lock nut. And that'll be me. I know we all have our different opinions on how to do things, and but hopefully some things I didn't hear will definitely help you. I can't tell you whether or not 100% that I'm doing this correct, but hopefully there are some things in here that you'll be able to take with you.